around $750 million by the end of the year. We're talking about legal marijuana. It's a booming industry in the American state of Colorado, which is where our next guest is cashing in big time. He's known as the Willy Wonka of weed, and Tripp Keber joins us now from Denver. Tripp, thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Sarah. Greetings from Denver, Colorado.
You actually used to work in real estate. You also had a brief stint in the Reagan administration. What exactly drew you to marijuana?
Well, what drew me to marijuana was specifically the opportunity in 2009, which the market was ultimately labeled as the green rush, represented a massive opportunity inherent with the risk that was involving yourself in the industry. But fortunately, in 2010, the industry really started to formulate a plan, and through the introduction of the Marijuana Enforcement Division, overseen by Colorado's Department of Revenue, really gave us a regulatory framework that I, as a business owner and entrepreneur, could really embrace. And from there, we've seen some very exciting times.
Tripp, you started as a medicinal marijuana company, and then when legalization occurred in Colorado last year, you then went to the recreational market. What kind of recreational products does your company make?
Well, that's correct. I mean, today, Dixie Elixirs and Edibles serves both masters, that of the medical marijuana patient here in the state of Colorado and soon to be other states across the country. But since January 1st of 2014, we've also been serving the adult use consumer. We use the term adult use rather than recreational because we don't pass judgment on a consumer whether they use it to medicate, recreate, or achieve a new level of wellness they might not be able to achieve through alcohol or opiates or even tobacco products. But the adult use cannabis market, and specifically the voracious appetite for infused products, is not insignificant. We're seeing approximately 50% of the revenue of an industry that's going to generate $750 million this year for the state of Colorado alone. That's over $45 million in the first 8 months that is going direct to the state coffers. That infused products take on all sorts of forms and fashions. And so whether it be an 8.5-ounce brushed aluminum can that has fluid or liquid cannabis in it, or medicated chocolates, the adult use consumer is very curious.
And Tripp, I mean, you're very good at doing the hard sell there, so to speak. What you say you don't want to pass judgment on recreational users. What, though, about the risks of people who use marijuana? There is that risk that it can induce psychosis in a number of people, and so there are real mental health concerns. Isn't that a worry that you're sort of peddling something that can cause enormous damage to people and making money off it?
Well, that's, I think, far from the case. I mean, Dixie Elixirs, as well as many other cannabis entrepreneurs, were considered the thought leaders within the industry and working direct with the health departments across the country and, more importantly, our regulators to make sure that these products are properly labeled, properly packaged, most importantly, to protect our most valuable asset, which is that of the child-proof and tamper-resistant packaging. And then, most importantly, as it relates to the dosing. And so, of course, any product, any alcohol, any opiate, has inherent risk. And so all things in moderation, and that's specifically what you're seeing. First Time 5 here in the state of Colorado, which is a new user or a new person developing a relationship with cannabis, should only have no more than 5 milligrams of active THC. And so you're seeing real responsible consumption across the state. Actually, but there are always going to be those outliers that just potentially consume too much.
Actually, Tripp, you're talking about alcohol. To give an example, like if I go to a vineyard, I go into the tasting room. If I was to go to Colorado, do you have a tasting room?
No, of course not. There's no adult use consumption on premise in any of these facilities, whether you're a wholesale manufacturer or that of a retail consumer. The state of Colorado is working out those laws because it's against the law to consume cannabis in any form in public. And so it's really designed for use within your home or potentially the privacy of a hotel room, some of which allow that, some of which do not. But specifically, we're generating educational materials, literature, that is designed to basically educate the consumer and/or the medical patient
Tripp, just quickly,
how to have a relationship with these products responsibly.
And do you consume marijuana yourself in any form?
I have in the past. I wish I consumed more of it these days because, candidly, alcohol most of my bad decisions in life have been associated with alcohol rather than cannabis. And I would tend to agree with our president, potentially governors around the country, that marijuana is less harmful than alcohol. And I would imagine as the state progresses with its rules and regulations that you're going to see a much wider group of individuals. I mean, in the first month of January, we had over
Tripp,
700,000 people
interrupt.
that embraced cannabis.
If your products are so good, why don't you use them yourself?
Oh, he
Do
doesn't.
I use it myself? Yes, I have used it in the past, and I've used it within the last 30 days. Candidly, folks, I work 7 days a week, between 16 and 18 hours a day, and my schedule doesn't permit. But when I'm trying to relax or alleviate stress, cannabis would be a viable solution for that.
And what about your kids? Have you got children? Would you be happy for them, once they're, say, 18 or 19, to use your product?
Of course not. I have a 14-year-old daughter, and there's nothing more valuable to me in the entire world, and that of all of our other children here in the state and across the country. They are our most valuable asset, and although the state of Colorado is going to use the first $40 million to build public education institutions, the next generation of entrepreneurs, cannabis and alike, will be fueled by this industry. But this is a product that is designed for adults, consumers, whether they be residents of the state of Colorado or visitors from Australia, 21 years or older. And so that's very, very clear in the law, and certainly respect that as an industry.
Tripp, am I right in thinking that you're laughing all the way to the bank? What's your What's your company's turnover?
Well, the misperception is that we're all getting rich here in the state of Colorado and across the country. And although many of our companies are profitable, specifically, most of us are pouring those millions of dollars of revenue back into our companies. We do not have the luxury of going to the government and getting a small business loan, or even to that of a local bank and getting a business loan. And so we have to be very, very prudent. And although I think there opportunity exists not only at the state level, but at the federal level as we consider the reclassification of cannabis, it's a myth. I mean, certainly there's opportunity, but today we're mostly being conservative and reinvesting those dollars.
All right, Tripp, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much for joining us. We do appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
And just quickly, of course, it's not just the cannabis itself that's driving the economy in Colorado, but also sales of Tim Tams and Pink Floyd albums have also gone through the roof.
I must admit, if he ever needs a jingle, might have to just Rocky Mountain High.
Craig Bennett rips the lid off the showbiz file.